Check 1, 2. I don't have a mic on, but oof, girl. Howdy and Halito, y'all. Welcome to my YouTube channel.
That's a pretty big.
My name is Darchelle Burnett. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. And this channel is about creativity, diversity, and really finding inspiration to be more inclusive in the everyday. And so I'm going to take you a little bit on a small snippet about me. What is Dose of Darchelle? Who is Darchelle Burnett? And this is going to be a really quick glimpse into Dose of Darchelle. And so I got my handy dandy little iPad here so I can stay on track. I got some notes here so that I can keep on track with you all. But to give you a little bit of background, I am the founder and the creative behind Dose of Darchelle. I am a plus size model, an artist, a DEI, which is diversity, equity, inclusion advocate. And so those are some of the things that shapes around what I'm going to be doing here on Dose of Darchelle. I've been working really hard to blend my passion for inclusion with also my love for art, fashion, and storytelling. So those are a little bit of foundational pieces. But Dose of Darchelle was really a response to some of the things that I had been getting from my friends, from my family members, some feedback that I was receiving from my community. And that's kind of what birthed Dose of Darchelle. And it really started from things that I had created during my master's program. I recently, as in like a year ago, a little bit over a year ago, I got my master's of cultural studies, master's of arts in cultural studies at the University of Washington, Bothell. So she's got the MA at the end of her name. And that has shaped a lot of the perspectives that I'm getting in the real world. And so that's what I wanted to share with y'all. And as things are progressing with our society right now, I thought it'd be really interesting to go back and revisit all the things that I've learned and see how I can apply them to my everyday life now. So it then kind of molded into me wanting to share my perspective in spaces and in places that I didn't feel like I was being seen or that I didn't feel like I was being represented in. And so I really wanted to create a space that reflected some of the things that I was feeling, some of the darkness, and be made into light. And so that's kind of how Dose of Darchelle was starting to get formatted, starting to get molded, a little bit anew. And the project that started it all, one of the first paintings that I showed people, because I've been painting since ever. I've always liked to paint. It was just like a side hobby I like to do. And nobody thinks that they're a painter until someone's like, "Ooh, I like your paintings." I just like to do arts and crafts with my friends, where I do those things as an RA, and I brought out the paint supplies and I just did really silly paintings. And it wasn't until my friends showed me that they liked my stuff that I kind of pursued it a little bit more. And so one of the first things that I had did was this piece called Look at You, Look at Me. And that is what had initially jump-started Dose of Darchelle. And it was inspired off of this book called All About Love by Bell Hooks. And the original piece was a two-parter. So it used to be hanging right above me, and then I kind of moved it off to the side so that I can do some new things. But the original piece, the full title of it was Look at You, Look at Me, Let's Breathe Together. And it was inspired off of this book called All About Love by Bell Hooks. And it was supposed to be a reminder to myself that I am more than what I see in the mirror, or that I perceive myself to be what I look in the mirror. That whatever thoughts that I had about myself was more than what I initially just saw. And so the full title of the piece is really a two-parter piece. It's Look at You, Look at Me, Let's Breathe Together, and it has these figures of two Black women, but it's really the same person looking at their reflection. So Black woman, brown woman, indigenous woman, person of color, could be interpreted in different ideals depending on how you're looking at her. And she's really breathing with herself and envisioning herself anew. Seemingly, she's circling these breaths around her with herself, kind of giving herself a pep talk, breathing with herself like, I am great, I am beautiful, I'm worthy of self-love. So that's like the messages that I really want to get out of Dose of Darchelle. Because looking at DEI, it's not just, oh, we have to be more inclusive of X, Y, and Z spaces. I think that this can also bring in perspectives of the self. So I really want to explore how we can look at ourselves in these different spaces. Because with the portraits, the girl in the picture is realizing how both her current and her future self are both beautiful. Because her current self, she's got her hair down, she's waving, and she's looking at herself in the mirror, and now she's got this bun up, and she's wearing this crown, and she's just feeling herself in this glory and is circling. Look at you. Look at me. Look at you. No, look at me. No, look at you. Look at me. Oh, let's just breathe together. We got this. So it's really a moment of self-love. So to tell you a little bit more about Dose of Darchelle, my goal here is to create a space where creativity meets inclusivity. Creativity meets inclusivity. And so that can come out a multitude of different ways. Whether it's through my art pieces, or through fashion, or through products that I design, or even through DEI conversations that are centered around topics that are really important to the communities that I center myself around. Whether that's eczema, or fashion, or even discourse around bodies. This can be a place where we explore all of that. And I hope to explore it all. So, what can you expect from this channel? What are we going to talk about here? Well, it's going to be a mix of creative content, maybe some behind the scenes looks at some of my business stuff, maybe some deeper looks into my art and my creative processes. I'm really excited about taking you behind the scenes on that. And of course, some discussions about DEI and how I break that down and place it into my life. Behind the scenes. So here you might see how I make my products. So going from a thought to a concept, maybe how I make my scrunchies, to how I curate my art pieces, how I curate art pieces for other people, to creating my collections and how I put those collections together to create this beautiful collection of artwork, right? So that is one way. I'm also really excited to have y'all catch some day in the life vlogs. You know, the typical YouTuber day in the life things. I'm really excited for that. I think that those are such a joy. So you're gonna see some lifestyle content, especially as I do stuff for Darcy Loves, which is my everyday posting, aside from Dose of Darchelle. And this also includes some behind the scenes footage, possibly on some of my modeling gigs, question mark. I am growing ever so slowly as a plus size model in the Seattle, Washington area, and I am so proud of myself for getting this far. Expanding perspective. So at times I will drop knowledge that is in relation to things that I've learned about building inclusive spaces that I think can apply to our daily lives. And I want to pause, and I want y'all to pause for a second and do a little breath work. And I want to give y'all a huge disclaimer about my work. Because I know that DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, can be, and it is, a political hot topic for a lot of individuals, especially right now. Especially right now. And I know it is. I know it is. And the way that I intend it for this channel, for Dose of Darchelle, is to look at it in a way for us to learn how to be more kinder to individuals around us, to our peers, to our friends, to our neighbors, to our family members, to our loved ones, but most importantly, to ourselves. How we can become more kinder to ourselves. So utilizing this work as a gateway to become more kind individuals. Because being inclusive isn't just building space or creating space for others, you're still creating space for yourself. I am simply sharing the things that have helped me get out of very dark places, that I have been growing out of, that have helped me to continue to grow into the person that I want to become. And so with that, this can very much so open some real conversations about diversity, equity, inclusion. It very well could, but it can really be a way that we can explore how we can think about these things creatively, how it doesn't have to feel so political, and how it could just be a creative asset that contributes also to each individual for their self-development. So I am hoping to bring in some great facilitators, some peers, some advocates, some creators who can each share about their narratives, about the work that they're doing, about their businesses, about their literary skills, findings, experiences, all these things that have contributed to their understanding of DEI work. I will be discussing with them how they have built some of these inclusive practices into their work and into their businesses, and also how they have implemented these things into their very own lives as well. And I will also be sharing about my experiences as well. So I'll be sharing about my journey as a model, as a plus size model, as a eczema advocate, what that has done for me as an individual, how I see diversity evolving within those platforms as well, how my master's program and how my educational journey has shaped my thinking in this young brain of mine, and how I perceive things and the reality that I live in, and how I navigate the world with these beauty standards and navigating this dialogue of self-love and building confidence with my eczema. And so those are some of the things that I'm really looking forward to talking about with you all. And all these things have created barriers on my life, but they've also shown me ways that I can envision my life to be really beautiful. And so that's just what I want to show other people, how to envision their life beautifully. So to wrap this all up, I really want this channel to be a safe and inclusive and inspiring place to visit. I really hope that we create a community here that supports one another and that really centers around building community. And I'm really excited to build that community with you all. So if you are into all things creative, all things inclusive, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell if you want to see more videos. I want to see more of y'all here. I want y'all to rock with us on this part. And if you're excited about what's to come next, don't forget to like this video as well. And also drop a comment down below and ask any questions, because I'm still on my learning journey. I don't have all the answers. I don't. I'm human. I don't have all the answers. And I love to learn. I am a lifelong learner. So if there's a question you have, let's research it. Let's figure it out. So drop a question down below about DEI, about modeling, about being a plus size model, which I'm actively doing research on right now. I'm also actively doing research on diverse patients with eczema. So that is also something I'm researching currently as well. So drop any questions that you may have below or any content that you're looking forward to. And I cannot wait to see y'all. Thank you so much for being here and for supporting Dose of Darchelle. I can't wait to catch y'all in the next video. With that, stay creative, stay inclusive. Yakoke.